Hello. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 12. Today is 8/11 of 26, and we are live for another one. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Today, I was watching some videos before I got on. A couple of people were asking the question, is America doomed? And I don't know that we'll get to the answer here today, but we're going to have a discussion about it. Because I've got some mixed feelings on it, and I know you guys probably do too. So I guess that's some definite questions that need answering. That's for sure. And we're going to see what we can do to get to the bottom of it. Maybe have a little discussion about it at least. Got a couple of good videos here to watch today. A couple of the president. We're gonna doom scroll X and find some good videos. And Alex had a really good interview today with the guy from Russia, and he had some good insight. And we'll take a look at that, and maybe if we can find a couple of excerpts of the Tucker Carlson show with Hunter Biden, we'll play a few of those, talk about that maybe. Yeah, it's been kind of a wild day. Trump seems to be getting back on track with signing the vaccine order. I like to see that. Very happy for that. I like to see him focus more here at home than across seas. I think he got caught up for a minute there, but I think he's getting very tired of it. And I like to see that, like I said, not against the guy at all. I voted for him 3 times. I want to see him do good because when he does good, we do good. And that's just the name of the game. So we have a couple little things here today, and we'll try to figure some stuff out and move forward and see what we got to do. Today was voting day. I hope all you guys went out and voted. I know today was a rough decision. I don't should be voting by all of us. I was voting here, so just curious where if you guys got out and voted and did your due diligence to try to put your word in where you can, your name or a little something down on it. That's about all we can do, really, right? Get on here, talk, and vote with your dollar and vote with your vote. That's really what we can do right now. It's kind of the situation we're in. And I don't know, here in Wisconsin, it's a weird race. We have a DSA, Democrat Socialists of America, and I don't know if she won the Democratic nomination or not, but she's holding on, and she definitely fought to the very end. And dear God in heaven, I hope she did not win, because if she did, boy, oh boy, the state's about to change overnight. Well, not overnight, but it's going to change. I'd be lying to you to tell you that didn't put a little fear in my heart. I definitely don't want to see her win. And, well, yeah, the Democrat Party, obviously, we know they've gone full on socialist mode. We're going to have some very strong candidates in to fight back against this, or we are doomed. Because as it sits right now, I haven't seen much pushback on our end to their end, and there needs to be a whole lot more. a whole lot more. So, dear God, please, please let Tom Tiffany win. That's the Republican candidate here. I need him to win so I don't have to go find a new place to live. I mean, the things she wants to do, her policies were, and you guys probably know, but I'll run them down. Her policies were to abolish the police, abolish ICE out of our state, abolish prisons. I mean, anything that makes fundamental sense to hold a society together, her ideology was to abolish it. So, yeah, um, that's my life where I am, and that's, well, it's not life yet, but if she gets her way, it will be. And dear God, she'll probably just say abolish white people. I mean, we're that close, you know. That's what it feels like, at least. Yeah, she wants to abolish every institution that makes sense. Does prison need to be reformed? Sure. There needs to be some reform there. We're just sending them to a box. We're not really doing anything with them. We're not putting them through re-education of any sort, really. We're not giving them, much of a chance to really get a college degree or, you know, get some sort of certification to work when they get out or anything. There needs to be some reform there, but to abolish it, what do you do with the people who are out killing people? What do you do with the rapists? What do you do with the severe criminals? I mean, the people who can be given a ticket and sent home, I don't really care about, you know. Um, but when it comes down to it, these are necessary things. And of course, the police are necessary. How else are you going to hold your society together? So, yeah, that's my world. Yep. Well, I know I choose to live in Wisconsin, but yeah, well, that's my reality. Not a great one, but that's. But we do have an alternative, Tom Tiffany, and the state. Going all the way back to the 20s, maybe even a little further, was always kind of a progressive state. So, which I didn't really know that. But the strange thing, and here's a little tidbit of information. In 1913, I believe it was, or maybe it was 33, one of the two, I think it was 13, when the Federal Reserve Act was first signed into existence, um, a congressman from Wisconsin, or senator, tried to he did a lot, actually, which I can't believe. This was an old school progressive. This is 1913. This is 113 years ago. This is who the progressives used to be. I was pretty amazed. He wanted to immediately have those men put for treatment. He thought that the Federal Reserve Act, which I totally agree with him, which I've never thought I would say in my entire life. I should bring it up one time and show you guys. I sat here one day just kind of typing on my computer, like searching for stuff and searching about Wisconsin and things I just didn't know. Him and 12 or 13 other senators got together and tried to stop the Federal Reserve Act cold in its tracks. And we're obviously not able to, but he wrote a full-blown book and a whole bunch of stuff in the papers around, here in Wisconsin at least, about how it was treason and that it was un-American and that it would be the downfall of our society, basically. I mean, this guy, and he was a progressive, hardcore. Um, yeah, I just didn't know that. Him and a senator from Illinois and a couple other places. I don't remember it all off the top of my head. It was a while back when I read this, but they actually tried to stop it. Now, when you only got about 20 senators, I think maybe not even, you know, you don't have the vote. So, and clearly it got voted in, so you know what happened there. But a progressive senator from Wisconsin actually did try to stop the Federal Reserve Act cold in its tracks. He voted against it, him and his compadres, and yeah, I couldn't believe the Republicans didn't try, but strange. Anyways, that's a little tidbit of information for you. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but I'm gonna bring it up. I'll find the articles and I'll download them, and then we'll check them out one day, because I think it's something to just kind of check out. You know, we still got Ron Johnson. I don't know if he got back in. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to. Well, today was voting, so we won't know for a couple days, but hopefully Ron Johnson got back in too. He's a little I don't mind the guy, but he does fight. Yeah, he does fight for what's right. And I guess in the swamp that he's in, not much else you can do there. But I'd like somebody who, maybe just a little more grit to him, but these are the people who run for the seats, so you got to choose from what you got. I'm gonna just write the garbage man's name in. Next time, I'm just gonna write the garbage man. I'm like, you're going to Congress, bro. Figure it out. Smelling like trash, bro. You're going to Congress. Yeah. So the theme of today is America doomed? We're gonna get to that later, a little later. Right now we're just talking about some stuff, but yeah, just some crazy stuff I didn't know. And I saw a little video of the president. Let's switch over to the presentation mode here, and let's check out what the president's doing here. Is that Pat McAfee? I think it is. Okay, so that's just him. That's just him getting off the plane. Where's he going exactly? Hold on. Next stop, Fire Academy for the 2006 Patriot Games final. What is that? Yeah, it's Pat McAfee. All right. What? This bump to the crowd. All right. We'll give Trump a little props here. People still loving Trump. That's good. That's good, man. Keep the guy in high spirits. He's got 2 years left. Excuse me. He's got 2 years left, so it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Just maybe he's still got it in him. Maybe there's something left there. I don't know. Hopefully.
Trump has privately admitted defeat and told senior aides he is willing to end the
I say that, and boom, first video we hop on. Trump has admitted defeat. Has he admitted defeat? Trump has privately admitted defeat. Oh, there it is, right in front of our face. Ouch.
Iran war without a nuclear deal if Iran fully reopens the Strait of Hormuz, a retreat from his initial unconditional surrender demand, per Wall Street Journal. Trump has been laying the groundwork to declare victory based solely on Hormuz reopening, walking away from his initial promise to decimate Iran's nuclear program. However, Iran has raised its price for reopening the strait in the form of new demands, effectively turning what Trump hoped would be his exit into a full U.S. surrender document. Those demands include that $300 billion in compensation, the release of up to $100 billion in frozen assets, lifting all sanctions, U.S. troop withdrawal from the entire region, an end to the naval blockade, and accepting transit feeds on every ship. U.S. officials say Trump is desperately searching for an exit, with the only viable option being the Strait of Hormuz. Iran, however, has made it even that impossible unless Trump surrenders on all of his demands, or surrenders to all of their demands. Do you remember like a day after the invasion started? Do you remember what I called it? Do you remember that I said that I didn't know how exactly it would unfold, and I'd be happy to be surprised. I would be thrilled if in a week we were done, if this was another redo of Operation Midnight Hammer, which at the time was extremely upsetting, being the one thing I thought Trump would know to avoid, direct confrontation with Iran. However, Midnight Hammer.
Yeah, Midnight Hammer was good. That was okay. Like, I was even okay with that, even though he did say no new wars, but sometimes you just, I guess you can't help yourself. No, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen us not get involved in a new war, but yeah, what can you do? Here we are, right? He should not have done this before the midterm. I'll tell you that it may have screwed the midterms. Now, I'll eat my words if we still hold the majority in one of the houses, even. No problem. I'd much rather eat my words than be proven right. I'd gladly be a liar, or just a misinformed idiot, whatever you want to call it. Gladly.
As much as I still don't like it, as much as I still am not in favor of what we did, as much as it was the time at that point to sound the alarm and say, we've got to change the direction before this completely squanders all of Trump's ambitions in the second administration. Maybe we should have been a little bit more vociferous about that argument, even though we were, and people just didn't listen to us. And now they blame us for what's happened in the ensuing 9 months and are still blaming us, even though they're still not listening to us and we're still right about this whole thing. But if it had been that the day after, 2 days after, right, the attack began on Saturday, on Monday, I did a show, said I would love for this to be over in a couple days and prove me wrong. But I think that the attack on Iran, starting this war, was maybe the worst mistake anybody has ever made in history. And I'm standing by that. I still don't think there has ever been a bigger mistake.
Well, because now it's turned into a blunder. What ended up initially, we thought was just going to be a little bombing raid, and that was going to be it, has now become a blunder in sorts, because the strait was already open prior. I really believe negotiation might have been a little bit better of a tactic. Just, try it first, and then if that didn't work, then do the other thing. It was like, I kind of get it. I really just believe negotiation first, though.
A bigger screw up, a bigger unforced error. I remember it was like the day after, and it was like all Trump had to do was not hit the big red war with Iran button. Literally anything else. We might be upset. We might be anxious and impatient and wanting him to do more. But the only thing he had to not do, the only way to guarantee his second administration was an abject failure, was to hit the big red war with Iran button, and he freaking hit it. He hit it for some reason. No need, no, not necessary.
No.
whether it was Epstein blackmail being held over his head or what. Yeah, I'm not going to name names, so I was told by somebody close to Donald Trump that Trump thinks Israel will kill him to get a ground invasion of Iran. People thought that was serious. No, that was memeing. That was a meme, since it was the same, thing that I said about Charlie Kirk. We'll get to the Trump assassination thing in just a second, but it's the same thing as ever. Like, we've been talking about this since 2024, since the Butler assassination, and Trump being like, we think it was Iran, and all the way back then. We just got a new transcript thing. Maybe we can search that up. Look for a time in 2024, the second half of 2024, when we talked about Trump blaming Iran for wanting to assassinate him. Because all the way back then, we were saying Israel wants the war with Iran. Israel wants to blame Iran for starting the war. If anybody's going to kill Trump to get what they want, it's Israel. Sorry, I might have messed that up. Israel wants war with Iran. Israel can get what they want if they kill Donald Trump. Why he would set it up that way, I couldn't possibly explain. This is one of those.
Maybe that's why he went and did it. Maybe he thought that through and went, well, maybe I ought to just start the war with them myself and I don't have to worry about it. I'm sure he likes living, so that could have been a consideration, actually. Yeah, maybe.
Things that, everything Trump does, you can interpret in opposite ways. Literally everything. And I'm open to the suggestion. Like, it might be that he is, because as we've said I've been saying this since 2016 when he first got elected, that Trump is a ninja. That might sound crazy, but if you know the history of what ninjas were, they, operated in secret. They were a secret faction operating against the people in power at the time. So they had to develop methods of operating that they could do it literally directly under the noses of the samurai, the ruling class. So they had to actually, everything they did had to be done with the approval of their enemies. Imagine that situation. Imagine, you're Donald Trump, and maybe you really are America first. Maybe you really do see a problem with Israeli influence destroying our country, but you know that you have to act in a manner that looks as though, and
so basically you have to show it by giving them kind of he did make them play their hand. They did show it, and now the world can see it for what it is, especially with Gaza and Lebanon. I don't know. I don't take anything away from Trump, man. The guy got elected twice. Might have been, the third time. I don't know for sure, but yeah, that's a likely scenario that could have happened. Kind of like, okay, fine, you want this war, I'll give it to you, no problem. And then made Israel show their entire hand and made the rats come out of the woodwork, because America really did get to see the dark side of that country, didn't they?
You can look at stuff. You can look at almost anything. Like, Trump comes out and says, President of Israel, you have to pardon Bibi Netanyahu. And of course, we see this and we're just like, seriously, Trump, really? Do you have to go out of your way to humiliate yourself? Do you have to just, on a random Tuesday, just remind everybody that you're still Bibi's bitch? Like, is this really necessary? That would be the surface level interpretation. But there's also the perfectly valid, I think, supposition, interpretation that, hey, maybe he wants the war to end and he thinks Netanyahu keeps this going so he doesn't have to go to trial. Can you just pardon him so he's not under threat of trial, so he stops perpetuating this war so we can end it already? Can you please pardon Bibi Netanyahu so we can stop doing this war? I don't know if that's true. I don't necessarily think that's true. But almost everything Trump does can be interpreted in this way. And it makes it just impossible to, again, get your hands around what's actually happening and what's actually motivating anybody. But I think he's been, largely humiliated. He is looking for an exit. We don't have one. And all we can possibly hope for is that we pay a huge chunk of money to return to slightly less than the status quo. Remember, status quo pre-war, Strait was open, no tolls, nothing. Now we're just possibly hoping against hope. We can pay them $300 billion and they can charge a fee for everybody who goes through. More.
Yeah, yeah. It's been quite a conundrum. It has been quite a conundrum, hasn't it? Like, what is really happening? What is going on? How do we? The strait was open. Now it's been closed, but now, and I don't think Iran was collecting a fee before. Now somebody can correct me if you know. If you know, you know. Go ahead and say something, please. But I don't think. I just don't feel like Iran really had anything prior to this. He kind of opened it up and gave Iran this.
On the other side.
Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall, and we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the strait to go to Iran, but it's open for others. Now, a little bit complex because they will, on occasion, drop a mine, and we find the mines. You know, we've mine swept the entire strait, as you probably maybe heard. Maybe.
So it is open. I'm confused. I keep hearing it's closed, but then he's saying it's open. So are ships actually going in and out? Like, is our goods being sold in and out of this place, or what? Like, can we get a straight answer? I just really need one.
Get in here, but we control the strait 100%. Now, can they make trouble? Yeah, they can make trouble, but they're broke. They have no money. You know, Iran is broke. Look, the only one that
I mean, they are broke. That's the thing. They a lot of stuff he's saying is the truth. They are broke. Their navy is busted. You know, what are they dropping these damn mines with even? You know what I mean? Like, what ships do they have to even drop these mines? Like, I don't know. Little speedboats or something? Like little cigar boats? How are they dropping these damn mines even? I don't know. Libs of TikTok. Louisiana police just conducted one of the largest meth busts in state history. Holy shit. Are those bricks? That's all bricks of fucking meth. Holy shit. What the hell? You could make a house with that. You could buy multiple with that, but that's, oh my God. Oh my God. That is, wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's so much. That was so much.
All Pack 3 and even older version of Pack 2 intercept.
Is this the guy booked for it? Is that his meth? Allegedly. I guess I better say that because I don't know for sure. Okay, you will never guess who the offender is. Anton Robeck, an illegal alien from Russia. Nearly 800 pounds of meth was found. Oh my God, that 800 pounds. A Russian dude. Wow. Fucking wow.
The missiles for the Patriot system, which used to cover
800 pounds. Dear God. That dude's gonna do life in prison. They're gonna resurrect him and give him another life sentence. Holy, that's so crazy. right, let's hear.
over the capital Kiev, especially
Hold on, hold on. The Ukrainian supply of missile defense munitions has apparently completely run out as missile attacks on Kiev go unanswered. Alex Jones interviews Russian elected official Viktor Bout to get the latest developments. All right.
most sensitive part of it, where is the government office, where they also bring in and concentrated their facilities where they're producing these drones. They do electronics, when they do also planning and also storage. So since Russia started hitting and Ukraine out of the interceptors since 22nd of the July, Russia successfully, basically every day.
Ooh, do you see that? Lighten it up.
And night, pounding and destroying the production centers, storage centers. In case
another thing, how many more people does Ukraine have even left to go fight this war? How is this not just done and over at this point?
If every night in Kiev is the same scenario, there is a direct hit. The Russian army trying to avoid civilian casualties. Usually, they also warning not make sure that there is no people at the facilities when they're destroying them.
Real time, uncensored, unstoppable. Alex.
Obviously, you can go watch. We might catch the whole interview. We might watch it. I don't think it was that long. I think it was like a half hour, maybe 45 minutes, something like that.
No interceptor shipments to Ukraine. Is that because we've run out and have to have it for the U.S. and Israel? Or is it really just because, as you always said, Trump could simply turn off the weapons and the intelligence, and then Zelensky would have to make a deal? We know that a lot of top officials have now even refused to meet with Zelensky, and we're also seeing riots and people beating up the conscription police. We're seeing Russians making record-level gains, unlike our media that keeps saying Russia's collapsed, Russia's defeated, when all the evidence is the opposite. You've never said that, no, they're collapsing in real time, they're out of weapons. You were just saying they're slowly being defeated. But now you're saying the same thing I see just studying it. I mean, there were massive attacks starting last week through this weekend, and even mainstream news repeated not one missile was fired to even stop any of the Russian missiles. So in the last month, it was 29 get shot down of 196, and now it's 0 getting shot down. I mean, that is literal collapse level. I don't know how long Ukraine can hold out, and it looks to me like you're going to end up having the citizens just uprise at some point. Do you think that's what Russia's waiting for, or what's happening?
Yeah, correct. Because right now, this whole efforts and the strategic patience of the Russian military and political leadership will, materialize into certain gains, not only of terrain, but also force at least those who remain, who able.
That was a hypersonic right there. That had to be. Okay, we got to go back a little bit here.
Political leadership will,
Oh, you see that? You see the air disbursement around that? That had to be a hypersonic. That thing hit with precision and just devastation. My God. Anything in that area is gone. Look at that.
Realize into certain gains, not only of terrain, but also force at least those who remain, who able to think in European Union, to reconsider whether they really want to bring their countries into war. And second question, whether they have enough, at least interceptors to protect themselves. You're absolutely right. Look, let's make a math. We know that since February 28th, the United States exhausted over 2/3 of all their available reserve of interceptors, protecting Israel, protecting their air bases. We know that the Raytheon only capable to.
U.S. intel finds Putin could test NATO's resolve with limited incursion. New assessment updates past forecasts that Russia's leader wouldn't provoke the alliance during the Ukraine war. Oh, yeah. Well, if he does this, if he attacks allied countries, like he talked about hitting Germany, he talked about hitting Poland, I believe, because he believes that's where the drones are being made. So, yeah, that.
Produce about 600 pieces of interceptors for Patriot system a year, plus about 200 of them Japan used to manufacture. So we have total 800 a year. Now, Zelensky need every month at least 300 because, Russia, according to statistics, firing over 8,000 precision-guided bombs from the jet bombers on the long distance, sometimes up to the 150 kilometers, and on top of it, it's all kind of the ballistic missiles. Some of them, like Iskander, are not a hypersonic, and they, in theory and practice, can be intercepted by the Patriot missiles. And there is a smaller portion of them is a hypersonic systems, which completely impossible to intercept by the Patriot missiles. Only the THAAD system been able to intercept those, and they also in very short supply on arsenal of the Pentagon.
So the bottom line is Ukraine is in full collapse, and we're at the moment of truth. Will NATO make good on sending in NATO armies? Their conscription hasn't worked. They're out of money. They're running low on munitions. And so the only thing left is a nuclear false flag or other provocation to somehow try to suck the United States in. I think that's the moment of truth and maximum danger we're now entering. Is that an accurate statement?
Well, it's accurate statement, but let's not underestimate Ukrainian regime. They've got enough reserves of their long-range drones. They've got enough supply on hand, everything they need on the drone war, when they still harassing a civilian population in all regions which is close to Ukraine, where problem is also that.
So even though they're strategically defeated, they may continue a terror war just to pretend like they're in the war.
Correct, because this is what they've been preparing for. And the regime don't care if their own population will face the winter without no heat, no electricity, with a shortage of the fuel supply, with a shortage of the products, even the food will disappear pretty soon.
But that's why I'm saying there's going to be an uprising then.
Well, the apparatus, the police state, which is Zelensky creates, suppress all, any revolt or any opposition. So those sporadic, resistance with the citizens trying just to make sure that their relatives have not been snatched from the street are usually, then the punishment team are sent to this region and they beat up those who try to defend their people, to be stolen, and then they have publicly, go on TV and says, "Oh, we are sorry, we support our armed forces, we are loyal to the president." So basically, Ukraine is the biggest, jail or concentration camp in the world.
Yeah, I mean, they really are. They're holding their people hostage. You can't leave. They haven't been able to vote in 4 years. To vote this guy out, even he's suspended all voting because he knows. I'm guessing in Ukraine this is the most unpopular thing ever, and that they want him gone so they can be done with this. I'm sure Ukrainian citizens would love to get back to their just normal lives and fix what's been broken, half the country probably at this point, and get back to some sort of normality. They're living in a damn nightmare, and this guy is fueling that nightmare. So I can just imagine how bad they want him gone and how much they would like to get back to some sort of normal reality. And the problem is they may have to stand up and fight a revolution in their own country to make that happen. How is the military not telling him daily, we're losing terribly? Because the media keeps feeding the lies. There's no way they're winning against Russia. Yes, they're hitting a few things in Russia. The drone attacks have been successful to a certain point, but really you're just a bee stinging the bear. And pun intended, I guess, because that's what they call Russia, the bear, right? So you're just a bee stinging the bear with very thick hide, and he's getting pissed, and he's ready to maul your ass. So, ooh, it can't be nice. And you're living in Ukraine on a hope and a prayer, because if Russia wanted to, you're over. You're done. Anytime they truly feel it, you're done.
Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, Bigley has launched an online pharmacy.
Oh, yeah. Wow. What's this? Oh. Elon Musk buys United Kingdom to establish free speech. He probably should. He probably should at this point, if he can. Because they are so screwed.
When Donald Trump was inaugurated. But now they're everywhere. Now there's hundreds of thousands of them.
Okay, yeah, the flock camera. The flock camera situation. Very crazy. Okay, let's pause it. And let's go back to this. And let's hear what Harrison's got to say.
Array. It's already fully in place in many cases. Again, we've been talking about this forever. Things like the Ring doorbell cameras run by Amazon, and they've had for a long time a direct access from law enforcement where they can go in and look at real-time video or recorded video without a warrant, without an explanation, anytime they want. It's a little bit troubling, but obviously the flock cameras are the next stage in development of the digital global panopticon. There were 0 flock cameras in America when Donald Trump was inaugurated.
Wait, was there 0 cameras? I don't know if there were 0, but they were mainly roadside cameras, I think. Not flock, but they did have some. LA has been doing this for a long time. New York has been doing this for a long time. And they also have been setting up microphones in areas, so when they hear gunshots, they can triangulate it. I watched a Dateline. This was a long time ago. My God, 10 years ago already, where they had city cameras. And, well, they have city cameras. You can go on, I think you can go on YouTube and look up city cameras, and you can watch it yourself. And so you better believe they have access to it. And then they had like cameras on the highway. So a lot of cities, a lot of major cities at least, have had these cameras systems for a long time. Now, they weren't called flock. They were just city cameras. And they only had a couple. And they have had microphones in high crime areas where a lot of guns go off, like Chicago, Detroit, certain things like that, set up where they can triangulate kind of where the gunshots came from, certain things like that. I remember seeing it on Dateline, and I remember them showing the LA Police Department, and he had like 15 monitors, on the wall, and he could switch back and forth between them, and he was showing her everything. So that might have just been like major cities like LA, New York, Chicago, places like that. But I remember going on a YouTube channel where you could literally watch different views from around the world. I think you could Germany, France, Florida, New York, LA. You could switch back and forth and see all that. So I think the camera systems have been in place for a long time. It's just that now they're like literally in our face everywhere. Like when I'm coming home, I think I passed like 5 of them, and I'm only 10 miles from my work. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that far. So yeah, it's,
At least when he was elected, maybe over the last couple of months of winter, there were a few more. But now they're everywhere. Now there's hundreds of thousands of them. People fighting back and trying to chop them down. And we've been over the fact that the Supreme Court has explicitly said that, its decision about you have no right to privacy on a public road does not include dragnet surveillance. like this one doesn't, for obvious reasons I will get to here in just a second. Flock linked to company that hacks cameras and secretly alters security footage. From Slay News. Fresh concerns are being raised about the rapid expansion of America's AI-powered surveillance network after reports highlighted an alleged connection between a major investor in Flock Safety and an Israeli cybersecurity company capable of secretly hacking security cameras and altering video footage. The allegations have fueled fears that emerging surveillance technologies could one day be weaponized to fabricate evidence or conceal criminal activity. Flock Safety operates one of the nation's fastest growing automated license plate reader, ALPR networks, with tens of thousands of AI-powered cameras tracking vehicle movements across the United States. Meanwhile, Israeli cyber firm Toka, Toka, has developed technology that reportedly enables government clients to hack internet-connected security cams, monitor live video feeds, and even manipulate both live and previously recorded footage. The reported overlap has sparked intense debate online about the risks of combining mass surveillance with increasingly sophisticated cyber capabilities. According to Gadget Review, Bedrock Capital led Flock Safety's $275 million funding round. The outlet also examined claims circulating on social media alleging that Bedrock has ties to Toka. Bedrock Capital leads Flock Safety's round with alleged ties to Toka, which reportedly erases camera footage without a trace, and these connections draw scrutiny. However, Gadget Review noted that Flock's investors are well-documented. Publicly available evidence does not currently confirm whether those same investors also hold a stake in Toka, and apparently Andreessen does. Andreessen Horowitz backs both Flock Safety and camera hacking firm Toka, serving Andreessen Horowitz, which led Flock's $275 million funding round, has also backed Toka, an Israeli cyber intelligence company that has reportedly developed tools capable of breaking into connected cameras and manipulating their footage. The connection between the two companies, their shared investor, came to light after an X post by Orwell Day alleged that Flock's lead investor also backed Toka. The post did not establish the connection on its own, but subsequent reporting confirmed that Andreessen Horowitz led Flock's 2025 funding round and has invested in Toka. Little concerning, isn't it? Then you've got this. Wisconsin cops tracked a man across state lines with Flock cameras to arrest him for weed. So basically they just filmed that he left a state where weed is not legal, went into a state where weed is legal, and then came back. And they're using that as evidence to arrest him for illegally transporting marijuana. And
I live in Wisconsin. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's messed up. No more of that, huh? That's crazy. And most people, from what I know, cross the border, they go there, they use it there, and they don't bring it back with them. You know, and there's nothing illegal about that. They can't really stop you from that, but they're going to stop you now from going across the border and coming back. They're going to stop you and see if you do have stuff. And I think that's illegal. I mean, just because I crossed into a state where it's legal. I mean, what if I'm going to Michigan on a fishing trip, you know, and I'm kind of close to the UP. It's a great, you know, obviously the Great Lakes, everything, you know, it's a great place to go. It's beautiful up there. And what now you got to be afraid to go on a vacation because it's not far for me. I can get there in about 3 hours. So I could go for a day trip, really, technically, or, you know, an overnight stay and go. And so now what? I got to be afraid to go there because you're going to have Flock cameras up everywhere. They got to go. Come on, man. No way. And just because you cross state lines, that's not suspicious. I mean, suspicion of what then? I mean, every single person that comes across that border, you're automatically suspicious just because it's legal there. I mean, what the fuck is Wisconsin doing in the first place? Make the shit legal. What are you doing? Just make it legal. It's legal in Minnesota. It's legal in Chicago. It's legal in Michigan. All 4 states that surround us, it's legal. It's legal. What do you expect people to do? They got their issues here. They've got their issues. And I just can't imagine why they just wouldn't make it legal. Wisconsin's the #1 drinking state in the country. I mean, there's a bar in every corner. There's a place here where there's a bar on each corner. It's called Four Corners. And I think it's down in Madison or something. It's called Four Corners. There's a couple places around here, but Madison is one of them. It's called Four Corners. There's a bar on that corner, across the street, bar, across the street, bar, across the street, bar. I mean, you literally, yeah. There's a bar every 7-8 blocks here. I could throw a rock. I could go outside my apartment, throw a rock, and hit a bar. What are we talking about? Just make it legit. There's pipe shops all around here, and it's not for CBDC. You know, no, get out of here. No. Bullshit. It's just pure bullshit. It's another thing to hem you up, man. I gotta get out of this state. Move somewhere, right? And not that I smoke weed, but I find it to be absolute nonsense. Punishing people for something that's like, I can see if it's freaking crack or 800 pounds of meth, like that last video we just saw, for God's sakes, but it's not. It's not any of that. It's literally just weed. I think weed is less dangerous than alcohol. I don't have a single friend who's ever been in a car accident because of weed. Drinking, though, I know a few people. I know quite a few. And I'm sure you people have been high and got on accidents, on weed, but I'm sure it's not because of the weed. I've smoked it before in the past. It doesn't impair you that much. And if you're that, like, if you're that, you get that impaired off it, it's just like alcohol. Stay the fuck home then. You know, go out, go to work, do your running before you come home, smoke your weed at home, be responsible. You know, you're not, and even if you got to drive to McDonald's, well, that's why they got DoorDash, but smoking weed is not, as far as I know, hurt anybody in that regard. But alcohol sure has. And this state, they love their alcohol. Trust me. It's the drinking state.
In other words, the mere act of crossing a state line is being used as evidence to justify an arrest. That's kind of terrifying, if you ask me. We have an absolute and constitutional right for freedom of travel between the states. You cannot then use that travel to punish people for crimes using the travel alone and the crossing the border, the state border alone, as all the evidence for the arrest. That's crazy. Gets worse, folks. They're now using AI to screen 911 calls in New Orleans. We'll get back to that and so much more news. Stay with us. It's the War Room.
That's crazy. That's not evidence. Like, that's not proof of anything. You cross the state line and they have something there that we don't sell here. That's not evidence. That is just not proof. That's not proof of anything. Yeah, wow. That's straight up insane to me.
Well, I guess I'll trust you. We can't make them ourselves. We've completely abandoned our greatness and sold out our industry, and we're now...
Oh, this is something. Just in Royal Navy spy drones secretly sent data to China. Oh, no. What? What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Okay, let's hear it.
Basically babysitting a bunch of third world barbarians, so I guess we've no choice but to go to China for our special operations. But we got problems everywhere. Spy cameras on Navy drones secretly sent to China. Secretly sent data to China. This is from the UK. Royal Navy spy drones used by Britain's elite special forces secretly sent data to China. Telegraph can reveal. The cameras on the K3 Scout surveillance drones had components made in China, which were secretly transmitting information to a device in that country. The Royal Marines have been using the $12 million fleet since March, and the Ministry of Defense was forced to remove all internet connectivity from the cameras after discovering the breach. The revelation raises fears that Beijing has been attempting to spy on Britain's military after years of security warnings about the threat from the country. The drones were supplied by a major British contractor, Kraken Technology Group, which then sourced the cameras from a third party who'd given assurances about their security. Oh, it's totally secure. Oh, you trust us, Mr. Britain, man.
Oh yeah.
It's very secure. Nobody get in here.
So secure. Just for you.
Well, I guess I'll trust you. We can't make them ourselves. We've completely abandoned our greatness and sold out our industry, and we're now basically babysitting a bunch of third world barbarians. So I guess we've no choice but to go to China for our special operations. Just what are we doing? Just what are we doing here?
What are we doing? You know, they fucking deserve it. With what they're doing to their population and everything else, honestly, I can't help but laugh at that shit. That's the stupidest, funniest shit ever. Fuck them. Good. I'm glad it happened. Fuck them.
Exactly. You're buying spy parts from China and you're surprised that they're spying on you? Maybe you should have not abandoned your manufacturing. Like maybe you shouldn't have given China all of the manufacturing in the...
Yeah, well, maybe you don't go to China to get it. Like, what the fuck are you? That's just the dumbest shit ever. You deserve what the fuck happened to you then. You're stupid. You're dumb. Your brain doesn't work, apparently. Somehow you're a spy agency and your brain doesn't work. What the hell?
Western world is part of your asinine global design in the mid-90s. I don't know. Maybe.
Do not get this ad. Do not support the broadcast. Support Mondami.
They fucking deserve whatever they get out of it. That's on them. They're that stupid. It is on them. For reals. For realsies. That's just one big commercial now. Oh, it probably is. Okay. Oh, wow. That is so dumb and funny. Oh, here we go. Okay. Today at my direction, Dr. Oz, I'm not going to say his first name weird, announced the Medicaid will no longer fund gender transition surgeries and hormones for minors. Oh, thank God. We are not going to pay for our innocent children to undergo these barbaric surgeries and practices, which result in unthinkable and irreversible harm to their young bodies. Thanks to our strong position and pressure on the issue, over the past year and a half, dozens of U.S. hospitals have already ended this so-called gender-affirming care, and we expect many more to follow. Just think of all the young, innocent, and perhaps confused children who will be spared, while the Democrat Party wants our kids to be able to chop off their reproductive organs before they are old enough to vote. Organs and then before they're even old enough to vote. Okay, yep. President Donald J. Trump, and the Republican Party say that is absurd, and we will protect America's children. Please remember this when you are casting your vote in the midterm election in November. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, Donald J. Trump. Okay, well, somebody has gotten Trump's ear and told him we need to reverse what we are doing right now and get back into election time, which I very much like to see. This is what I voted for. I don't care if you want to be transgender. That's up to you. I don't care what you want to do as an adult. I don't want you influencing young children, because young children, their minds are so influenceable. You can talk a young kid. I mean, everybody remembers when they were a kid. You put the Halloween costume on. You thought you were that. You wanted to wear that thing for days. You wanted to run around with a bed sheet on you and act like it was a cape. You thought you were Superman. You know, like I would put, you name it. Like you put your Spider-Man PJs on and you think you're Spider-Man. You know, like you're so impressionable as a kid. Your mind is so undeveloped. And to push these type of abnormal, suggestive thoughts into our children is honestly, in my mind, criminal and harmful, obviously, to a nation. Look at the highest suicide rate, besides, God bless them, our veterans, is, I think, is transgender. Now, don't quote me. We can look that up, but I don't want half our kids thinking there's something else in the future. You transmute a child's brain like that, they're going to be so confused for the future and not understand who they are well into their adulthood life even. I mean, it's such a mind-bending. I mean, I know every one of you have had to have seen that blue-haired kid at that school screaming at that cop. God forbid that's one of your children. You know what I mean? Like, what the is that even? Seriously, what the hell is that? No way. No, it's unacceptable. And that is an absolute Dr. Mindbender flip on society itself. And that I almost felt sorry for that kid. Somebody confused that kid to the point, I'm a female. No, you're not. You're a boy. Sorry, dude. You got a dick in a balls? You're a boy. Figure it out. This is a W right here. This is a huge win. Huge win. What they need to work on next, and this is something I heard the other day during this lady recorded a phone call. I was on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm doom scrolling. I do it sometimes, you know. Unfortunately for hours sometimes. So I'm doom scrolling on TikTok. I come across this TikTok where this lady records the phone call with the doctor. Her 12-year-old son is allowed to make doctor's appointments, not just without his mother, but in order for his mother to even know about the doctor's appointment, he has to consent to it. Her 11 going on 12-year-old son. She called the doctor's office. They would not give her any information on her underage son without his express permission. She was not even allowed to book a doctor's appointment for him. He had to go and do it himself. He had to go on the tablet, or I forget what she said, call or go on the tablet, and he could. Your 11-year-old son, if that kid goes out into society and hurts somebody, because nowadays I think, what is the parent held accountable to? If that kid goes into society and hurts somebody, she's held accountable, right? To a certain extent, at least. If he steals, shoots, rapes a girl even, something, I've heard of parents going to jail. So she is responsible for him until he's 18. That's just the way it is. You're not an adult till you're 18. She is responsible for him. How in the world does she get blocked from seeing her own son's hospital records, which I think back in the day of when I was 12, if I was to call the hospital and be like, yeah, I'd like to make an appointment, they would laugh at me, probably like, put your mother on the phone or your father. There's no way they would have let me make a damn doctor's appointment and then not tell my mom about it. There's no way. Absolutely no way. And for her to not be allowed to have full access to every single thing her son is doing at 12, she can go on his phone and, put limits on it. She can do it on the computer, parental guidance, parental guard, or whatever that's called. he can't even go to a movie theater and watch a damn PG film. Okay? You can't even go watch a PG film. You should not be able to go make doctor's appointments. And whose insurance is he using? Because he ain't got no insurance. He ain't paying for it. Mama is. Daddy is. So he's using their insurance to make. What if they have a what if they have a high, like I forget what it's called now, where you have to pay, so much first before you can go in. Like my insurance used to be, I had to pay $3,000 deductible. There we go. My God, I couldn't think of it at first. What if you have a high deductible? Some people's deductibles are $5,000. So here's your son making a doctor's appointment, and not only do you not get to know about it or get to say in it, but there's a $5,000 deductible. Let's say you have to pay $5,000. What if the family doesn't have that kind of money? What if they're, living paycheck to paycheck, barely affording life? And now they just get this bill in the mail. Oh, well, your son came in for some sort of gender affirming care stuff, and the bill's $10,000. Insurance is only going to cover half. Now here you are stuck with some bill on top of it, and you didn't even know about it, and you didn't get a say in it, and you can't even call the hospital and ask what it was about without your son's permission. No, man, that's insane. I'd like to see him tackle that next. But this right here, this is good. This is really good. Love seeing that. Love seeing that.
If they never get the Save America Act done, you have the right to declare a national security emergency for elections. And the Supreme Court ruled in 1983 under Reagan that INS versus Chadha, that if you declare a national security emergency as the President of the United States, they can't challenge it. It can only be overturned by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. So if you do this in the next month, we will get photo ID, proof of citizenship, and a limit to mail-in ballots. And
Let
you
me
don't
just
even
say that
need
stranger
the
things
Senate
have
vote.
happened. Okay, I'll leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Because it's so hard to get the Senate to do anything, now they're on recess, they don't get.
Oh, wow. Oh, he actually had Trump on the phone. He was telling Trump to do that. I mean, that would be kind of crazy thing to do, but that would be, pretty gangster move right there. I think this is who it is. I don't know who the hell this is. Oh, this jackass. I make money. I make a living annoying people. That's basically what he's saying. I make a living to annoy you. Oh, that's great. Good job, buddy. Royce. Good luck, buddy. I hope you win in Minnesota.
The trust that the people have regarding the vaccine recommendations we have, it's more in line with what our European nations do. Less emphasis on force, more emphasis on sort of shared decision making, more emphasis on parental autonomy. We're not taking any of those vaccines away from anybody. If you believe that it is good for your child to have them, you are able to get them with all the normal ways. The key thing is a shift in how we talk about it, and we are now partners with parents rather than overlords of parents telling them what they must do. What I do know is that I believe it will be likely to increase the trust that the people have.
Well, the thing of it is none of it should be mandatory. It should all be optional. And you should be told from the start of it, what's in it, what it could do, the cause, the effect, the everything. You should never be left out of that decision.
Activities that are against the national interest and national security of the United States, we will take away your visa.
News now, the State Department has just exclusively revealed to Fox that it's revoked 175,000 visas.
The State Department is taking unprecedented action to get foreign nationals who commit crimes out of the country.
The majority of the new revocations were over criminal activity, including sexual assault, child abuse, fraud, reckless driving.
The State Department revoking the visas and denying the travel of foreign nationals.
State Department under Secretary Marco Rubio carrying out that zero tolerance policy for foreign nationals.
New announcement from the State Department denying visas to applicants with violent histories.
Excellent news, Marco Rubio just revoked the legal status of an illegal immigrant from Laos.
Trump administration revoking visas for some international students across the country, and that includes students at UC Davis.
The State Department is on track to reach an all-time record in the number of visas the agency revokes in a single year.
About time. What happened here? Hold on. So somebody got on Trump, boy, because he has switched back. Now he has switched back to America first all of a sudden. I think this war has ran him rampant. I think he's pissed and tired of it, and he wants that to end so he can get back on track here. I think he knows that was such a waste of time, a waste of our ammo, a waste of our time. Wow, I like it. Did you guys hear about the National Guard being sent to Chicago the other day? I mean, my God, they need to. I hate to say that because I don't want to see troops on our streets, but Chicago is so freaking crazy. I'm honestly kind of glad to hear it. They're saving a lot of innocent people from getting their ass murdered,
That country is in danger.
That sounds like hatred. That sounds like language of hatred.
It's easy to say hatred. I'm being kind to them by not letting them come to India.
Part of the work that I did and the reason I moved to Queens was because I saw the political power that undocumented workers and undocumented people in Queens were building. And, I see some compañeros here that I work with at night, Barbara, shout out, compañera, who were part of this movement, right? And so I know deeply and personally and firsthand that you don't have to have papers to have power, right?
So again, when you become an American citizen, you take an oath to not be a socialist.
Well, you take an oath to the country. I don't know about the socialist part, but hopefully not be a socialist, yeah.
Muslims ran in the midterms. 89 of them secured victories in 25 states. This is how Sharia law infiltrates the system. 153 Muslims ran. 89 of them secured victories in 25 states. The thing I'm putting across is this really is not complicated. This really is not difficult to comprehend. This is very simply a slow motion invasion. Nothing more, nothing less. This has nothing to do with history. This has nothing to do with historical repayment of debts or America's openness and willingness to accept population. This is an attack on European culture from outsiders who are not interested in being grafted in to America. They're not interested in assimilating. They're not interested in our system. They despise it and want it for themselves so they can rule it differently, like they rule their countries. Not complicated, not sophisticated, not even difficult to fight back. They just won't do it. Muslim Family Day Out at Carowinds. There's a Muslim Family Day Out. Okay. Obviously, if it was any other group, there would be lawsuits, but don't expect Christians to stand up for ourselves anytime soon. We've been brainwashed out of that. Let's go.
Yeah, it's sickening.
discusses political power and behind-the-scenes socialist organizing in Queens and how they're actively recruiting illegal or undocumented immigrants.
This is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about at the beginning. Is America doomed? Because we are allowing, and we're not doing anything about it. We're just allowing.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete.
I want to watch Heavy Duty Country. He's going to rip apart some people here. I just want to check it out. We're doomed if we don't stand up. And we are losing the battle on every front. I see it happening in slow motion like you wouldn't believe every day. Look at here in my state, Wisconsin, that Hong lady. I mean, Democrat Socialists of America, they're replacing the Democrat Party one by one in slow motion, and they're going to get their radical party in. And if we don't get people of equal balance to balance that out and fight back and stand up for American tradition and American families and the American way of life, within the next 10 years, we might be England. I know America's huge and there's a lot of land in between, and that's going to take a lot. But if they capture the major cities, look at the Democrats. They've captured a lot of major cities. They were smart. And if we don't start playing that way, we're never going to win. We got to be aggressive. We got to get out here and spread our word and not be scared to be called some stupid ass name. Who gives a shit? And we got to be not afraid to be who we are. Or we're going to watch the American dream slowly get flushed down the toilet by these monsters. And you better believe that's exactly what they want to do. So we have to get on it. And we need people who are going to fight vigorously. I mean, almost literally willing to throw hands if they have to. I mean it. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We've let this go too far for too long. And we've done nothing about it. And now here we are in the midst of a slow motion takeover right in front of our eyes. It's not good. It's not good. Okay, now over to a little bit of drama. Let's watch Heavy Duty Country here. Talk a little ish. Oh, what the heck?
People that are 5 times as big as you, 3.5 million subscribers. I've gone up against billion-dollar companies. And
oh, hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure that this is on. Okay. Yeah, here we go. All right.
And toppled them.
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar?
Yeah, why not?
I got to grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Your hand greased the whole top of it. Literally slippery.
Sorry,
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar? Another opportunity with grab me a paper towel.
Whatever happened to hitting the bottom of it? Does anybody remember that? It pops the top. You hit the bottom, and still a little rough to open, but you can get it.
So I can dry the top of it off.
I thought it was an olive jar. Man. There you go. Go on.
I can't grip the fucker. Like, I gotta have a way to grip it. I gotta grip it. Try it. You fucker. Bullshit.
Got a little cooking spray here. You ready, Andrew? Oh, wow. My Lord. So difficult. What's up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of the...
I just wanted to end this on a little drama. So I thought this little beef here was kind of funny. I was watching the other day, and I kind of like Andrew Wilson a little bit. I like his debating. Hold on. Thank you. And but I like Heavy. I don't know, I'm not picking a side. I'm just watching the beef. I'm watching the beat from the sidelines. So I would love to see Heavy Duty Country debate him, though. I think that would be a really good debate. I don't know if I think it should be through YouTube or something like that. I don't think it should be face to face because I think Heavy might beat poor little Andrew up. But I would like to see this debate. I would love to see it. And Andrew, for those who don't know, has a little back and forth between Candace Owens right now too. So this is like a little triangle here we got going on.
The saga now. I mean, look, it's Erica Kirk, it's Charlie Kirk, it's Andrew Wilson now. And for those of you who are like, oh, you're talking about Andrew Wilson to get clout. Nobody really knew who Andrew Wilson was. If anything, I'm helping the guy out. Let's just be realistic. Oh, but he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. How was he on the Joe Rogan podcast? Joe, what are you doing, bro? Have you seen the shit that he has put out online? Joe, how about this? Next time you have him on your show, hopefully you don't, why don't you ask him about the time that he committed stolen valor? Okay? That would be a great.
Joe Rogan has had him on in the last year twice, and his wife. So I'm giving him clout. I don't know. Heavy, I love you, bro. I think you're awesome. I've watched your videos for years. I like your stuff. I like your style. It's very upfront. Very, very much how I like to do things. But I don't know if you gave him any clout. Andrew, when I go over to his live stream, he has about 3,500 to 7,000 people watching him live. I mean, dude is, and he is a good debater. You know what I mean? Like, he does come with the facts. And I've watched a lot of his debates, and I like him. Is he right about everything? I don't know. Does he get a little frustrated and smoke a lot of cigarettes? Yeah, you can tell. But honestly, he is a pretty good debater, and he does come with facts. But I like the drama, though. I do like the drama a little bit. It's kind of fun.
Great topic for you guys to discuss, because you as a principled man probably would be curious why your guests are lying about shit like that. Anyways, folks, we're going to make it through this episode today. No thanks to this light in front of my face, because today is my birthday. We went a little bit hard last night, and to be honest, I may throw in the shades at some point. In fact, maybe I should just do that now. Andrew Wilson's nemesis is a pickle jar for me right now. It's the light. So, we all have our weaknesses, folks. So, look, I want to be clear about something, just so everybody knows. This entire time I've been messing with Andrew, I really don't have that big of a problem with the guy. I think he's a complete fraud. Like I said, I think he's coined himself as this fake alpha male. And when someone like me, now my buddy Nate, now my buddy JD, now my buddy Jesse called.
Oh, I forgot about Nate, JD, and Jesse. They all been calling him out. And I think it's because he went after Candace like he did. But him and Candace should debate then. They should just skip the pleasantries, I want $500,000 and Erica Kirk. No, just debate the guy. I mean, he's not a nobody. It's not like you're debating me, which, okay, I could see if I was calling for a debate against him, and I'm going, who the fuck are you? Okay. But Andrew Wilson does have quite a following. I mean, he's been on Crowder. He's been on Alex Jones's show. He's been on, he's done the run. He's been on Tim Pool. His wife has done the runs. He's been on Joe Rogan, which is undoubtedly the biggest podcast in the world. And he's done Joe Rogan's show like 4 times. And none of these guys have ever been on Joe Rogan that I'm aware of, but I do like all of them. I like Jesse. I like VT Valhalla. I think that's what it is. I like his stuff. He has good content. They all have pretty good content. And I like JD. I love watching his shorts on YouTube. So, and I like watching his videos too. I like all these guys. So, like I said, I don't really hold a dog in the fight, but yeah, just debate. Just debate it. Let's see. I want to see it.
Called him out and pretty much told him, and by the way, this is my new parameters on debating you, Andrew. We all pretty much have said you spend 1 round in a ring with us, boxing, or whatever you want. We can do MMA, boxing. Then I will do 1 hour of a debate with you, which I've already agreed to do. And you don't want to do it because, let's just be real, you've never gone up against somebody like me. And I know all of your debate tactics. They're really not that hard to figure out, man. They're not. I'm kind of doing you a favor by not exposing them, but maybe switch it up a little bit. Maybe don't get over emotional when somebody has a good point to be made. So, look, this is going to kind of be half and half because there's new stuff that has came out about the Charlie Kirk situation and the 4K footage. It came out, guys. We're excited about it. Let's take a look. Why don't we just start with that? Because guys like Andrew are like, all of the evidence points to it being Tyler Robinson. Okay, let's check it out. Here is the 4K footage of Tyler Robinson. That doesn't even fucking look like him. This guy looks way taller than Tyler Robinson, first of all. Second of all, this being 4K footage, even in the amazing footage that we have here, it still does not look like him. So I'm going to throw Andrew a little bit of a big thinking question for you, okay, buddy?
It's still really grainy. 4K footage is not grainy. Like, he's in 4K right now. I'm not probably in 4K. I'm probably like 1080, P, but he's in 4K. You can see it. It's really lit up. It's really nice. So yeah, this is 4K and this is grainy 440, 460p something. That's terrible. And it doesn't really look like him. It looks like a different person to me.
Let's say you're all about proof, right? And this is one of your debate tactics. I'm sorry to expose you right now, but all of the debates that I've seen, especially with Stu Peters, which he handled phenomenally, you try to put the burden of proof on the defense. God, are you that un-American? You kept telling Stu, well, you have to prove your claims. We don't have to prove shit. We can look at something like this and say, that doesn't look like Tyler Robinson. And then you, as the person who is a fan of the prosecution, has to say, well, no, here is the proof beyond a reasonable doubt that this is Tyler Robinson, which you can't fucking do. And that's why you don't want to debate me, is because you would try the same bullshit with me, and I would just continue to redirect the questioning to you on, hey, look, man, you love the Fed slop. You're a big fan. Show me proof that this is Tyler Robinson. Oh, you can? And then, Andrew, isn't this going to be interesting? Let me know what you think about this, buddy. Here we have Erica Kirk accidentally doing an oopsie.
There will be some of you in this room, and you guys will be the ones that are speaking to your own generation. That is way more important than throwing some man on campus that has no connection to you guys.
Can you say that again?
Ooh, boy.
Just the way you said. Just the same way.
Yep.
There will be some of you in this room, and you guys will be the ones that are speaking to your own generation. That is way more important than throwing some
man on campus that has no connection to you guys.
Has anyone actually made it to level 4 before? If you're slightly congested.
To the no. Obviously, you're a little bit out of your league. I honestly kind of feel embarrassed for you, man. So I'm going to kind of take it easy on you for this one. But you've put yourself in our fucking business now.
Wow.
We are asking questions about the
She said that about her husband. That was her husband she's talking about. And some man. I mean, holy shit.
Tyler Robinson issue. And for me, if you watch through my videos, there are very few times where I actually make a claim. For me, it's, look, this is the way it looks. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks fucking weird. That's something that me and Stu Peters are a little bit different on. Stu will 100% say, hey, they killed him. Very obvious. That's not what I do. Alrighty, folks. So here is Andrew not really knowing how to handle this situation because, like I said, I'm going to show some clips from my buddy's video, Nate from Valhalla BFT, a little bit from Jesse on Fire. But after all this, he goes, I'm looking forward to a straight week of being slandered and lied about, to be honest. My favorite. Now, I seriously doubt it, but let me just make sure that we're all on the same page here. Andrew, have you ever committed stolen valor? Probably one of the shittiest things you can do as a man. There's probably a couple of things, to be honest, that are worse. But so, Andrew, where is the lie in this other than you lying?
What's that?
Were you in the Army?
I was in the Army for a very limited amount of time, years and years ago.
How long was that very limited amount of time? If you don't mind?
Why do you answer every question like you're on your fucking period, man? I'm not trying to be.
See, I told you the drama was thick. I like it. It kind of spices things up. And I'd like to see him either debate. I would like to see him debate Candace. And there was one other person who I think would be a good debate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if Heavy Duty would be such a great debate. I'd watch it for sure. I definitely watch it. So don't get me wrong there. There was somebody else, Candace and one other person I would like to see him actually debate. Well, I'd like to see him debate VT Valhalla. I'd like to see him debate him. I think that guy's very chill, and I think it would be a good debate. I don't think it would get too crazy. I think with Heavy Duty, it would start off good, and then it would kind of dwindle down to talking trash and, you know, maybe though. I don't know. I guess I'd like to see him debate Candace out of all people though. And VT Valhalla, I think that would be a good debate too. Because that guy's just really on his stuff and knows what he's talking about. So I think that would be a pretty good debate, to be honest. Well, you guys can go catch the rest of this video on his channel. This is Heavy Duty Country. Yeah, Heavy Duty Country, YouTube. I don't know if he has a Rumble channel. I follow him on YouTube. So you guys can go there and check him out. All right, guys. That is the show for today. I am getting off. I've got to go make some supper, relax. I got to work tomorrow. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Tomorrow, I am going to be going to the gym after work. I got to work both my jobs tomorrow. Today, I didn't have to work both jobs. I got out of one, got to come home. That's why I was on a little earlier than I would have been. But tomorrow, I'm going to the gym. So I'm going to probably do like a little half-hour, 45-minute video from my car. Probably go live while I'm waiting on my brother to get to the gym. So I will be live tomorrow, but it won't be very long because I got to go to the gym. And by the time I get home after the gym, it's going to be like probably 6:30, 7 o'clock at night for me. And then I got to get up early and go to work at both jobs again. So tomorrow's just going to be a conversation, hanging out and talking. So feel free to come in. I appreciate you guys. Much love. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had a ton of fun. You know what it is. Doom scrolling next and just finding the stuff to talk about. Always fun. And as we get going here, guys, I'll get a little more organized and I'll start, having videos ready when I hop on. But for now, we just kind of using Twitter and doing that. It's been fun for me. So I appreciate you guys. Much love. You can catch me on Rumble, Sundown Entertainment. You'll see me. You can catch me on YouTube at Distorted Perception. And that's distorted with a 3 instead of the E. And the second E in perception is a 3. So it's at Distorted Perception. It's at DISTORT 3D. Perception, and then it's all one. PERC 3PTION. And then you can catch me on X at KJ1116, Sundown, or KJ1116, and I got a blue check mark. So I appreciate you guys for coming in. Thank you so much. I had a good time. Time to get off and go make some supper, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful night, guys. Peace out.